Okay, one of the barriers I hear quoted to me most often about adoption of learning technologies is the reluctance of learners to engage with the programme. And we've done a lot of research in this area, and we can kind of draw on some of the characteristics of really successful organisations, but also to be thinking about what do the learners themselves think. Now, often people say, actually, learners haven't got time to engage with online learning. But I don't know whether you know, but the top barrier for learners to engage is actually uninspiring content, which is something we as learning and development people can do something about. So I think if we're going to be thinking about learner engagement, first and foremost, we need to think about the programs that we're designing. To what extent are we building in stories? To what extent are we building in videos and the authentic voice of your customer or your colleagues or other managers if it's a leadership program? Those types of things build engagement within a program itself. Also, the way that we title and frame those programs are going to be important too. How can we actually create a title that when people see it, they think, that's something I want to connect with, that's something that's meaningful for me as well. So that design of the program is a critical part of learner engagement. The second barrier for learners to engage with learners, according to their own perspective, is the fact that often they can't find what it is that they need. Now, 80% of learners in our learning landscape study are actually saying, you know what, we know what training we need, we know what performance support we need, but we just can't find it. So are we making things clear to people? Are we making it available to them in a way where they're expecting to see it? So I think that's a really important aspect of it, and to be able to communicate that and make it easy to find, not hidden in the depths of a learning management system. I think the other thing that we need to think about with learner engagement is how are we communicating with those learners? Who's influencing them? Now actually, when we talk to learners directly, a number of them say, you know, I don't need to be influenced by other people. As long as I can find it easily, then I'm quite happy to engage. But others say, you know what, it's my manager that makes it most relevant to me. So I think if we're thinking about engaging with learners, we need to be thinking about who is it that influences them, and how can we create a communications program that not only directly connects with our learners, but also with the managers and possibly with their peers as well. So having a good communication strategy that's not just there at the launch of a program, but continues to circulate information about that course is something that's really important. And in fact, less than half organisations actually have a communication strategy and plan in place. The other thing that I think is important for engaging with learners is really targeting their managers, not just in a communication strategy, but actually helping their managers to help the learner themselves connect with the material. There's some great examples that I've seen, for example, a meeting in a box, where the Learning and Development Department has actually created a meeting in the box for the line manager so that they can actually run through a program and meeting to help their staff apply what it is they've learned in that program. And that's a really effective way of engaging learners. Also, if your staff and your learners are distributed in lots of different locations, it's a really good idea to think about having a local champion program, people on the ground who are actually there able to help them. But if you do establish a champion program, make sure that you communicate with those champions. Maybe create a collaborative forum where they can share ideas, how they can actually connect with each other and help each other connect with their learners. So there's a lot of different things that we can be doing in terms of learner engagement. It's not the learner's fault if they're not engaging. There are many proactive areas that we can be working with.